guest, James Buckley, a very energetic, enthusiastic sales professional. Today is the Antonius Marketing Show. So, James, our topic, invest in yourself. Tell us what you think about this topic.
I think there's a couple of factors to consider when you take a sales job or when you consider sales for your chosen path. And that's what it is. It's a path. It's a long game. It's supposed to be. So we have to do a couple of things. One, we have to decide that we're not going to expect instant results, but that we're going to invest in the steps, the tactics that we need to start learning about to make ourselves a better seller. Someone that sells better 1% every day, get better, right? So how do we do this? Well, one, we stop expecting to immediately be promoted 8 months after we get the job. I think that there is a long path to sales. If you look at the traditional path of sales, it's you come in as a sales development rep, and then maybe a year or two later you become an account executive. Maybe a year after that or two, you become customer success. Maybe you become a director. Maybe you become a manager, right? That's the traditional path. But I think right now in 2022, there's so many different skill sets that you can learn as a sales professional that feed the health of your pipeline, but also open other doors. If you had told me in 2015, James, your sales career is going to lead you to a path to help thousands of people become better sellers and host and manage events that are public with thousands of people on them, I would have told you were full of shit. I would have said, no way, no way. Right? But here I am at JB Sales working to elevate the sales profession and help other people sell better. So that path was not a path that I had originally envisioned. It got me here because I stayed on the path. I kept learning new skills. I followed that white rabbit, if you will, a little Alice in Wonderland there, right? Follow the white rabbit. Chase the thing that you want. Your sales career can be a vehicle to get there, but you have to invest in yourself and stop expecting other people to make you successful.
I love it. And I like what you said, invest in yourself. In sales, you need to invest in yourself. And invest in yourself don't necessarily mean that you have to only get a coach, but you have to read a lot. You have to go conferences. You have to network, because the new currency is basically your net worth of individuals that you interact with. You need to change your thought patterns, your words that come out of your mouth. It should be positive and it should be sales language. So I will tell anyone, read constantly, read, develop yourself, because we go to the gym. James, you go to the gym, you strengthen those muscles. However, we have to strengthen our minds, because our minds is muscle. And in that way, how we do that is by reading daily, exercising our muscles. And that is just a simple way of investing in yourself. And you could start off, if it's 10 minutes of your reading, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and so forth. In that way now, you take it incremental baby steps to reach to that destination that you would like to reach.
I think that reading is a great option, a great thing to start doing. Some people are not avid readers. So here's a couple suggestions for those of you that heard Antonio said that and they were like, oh, I don't like reading. I don't want to read a book. Here's some other suggestions. First of all, get audiobooks. You can get audiobooks and it's the same value. At the same time, go on YouTube. There's so much free resources out there. Here's probably one of the better tips. Connect with people that do the job you want to learn about. Ask them questions. Reach out in their DMs on LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok. Man, we live in such a connected world. There are resources out there that you can take advantage of, kindnesses that people will do for you, connect with you for 15 minutes, talk to you about something you're struggling with, help you get past a hurdle. But if you don't take the initiative to take steps to get over that hurdle, your growth will be stunted. You have a ceiling that's here, but you'll probably only ever reach right here. And that's because you're unwilling to put yourself out there and take that step, take that action, do that thing. We live in a world of action. That's the way to go in 2022, because action is going to do a lot more for you and your results than non-action. Just like most deals, most sales are lost to the status quo, most advancement, most upward mobility, most of our promotions are lost to the status quo. And we have to be ready to combat that with change that we're not afraid of, change that we're embracing.
I love it. And I would like to shout out to my good friend, MD Jahed Hassan. Thanks for watching the live. Hope you are enjoying and the content can resonate with you. So, moving forward, you mentioned change. The two important things or crucial things that always attend to be inevitable is change and technology. If it is that we are not utilizing technology in the sales process, well, then after we are not effectively selling, because in this world that we are living in right now, due to all different things that we encounter, right, unprecedented times, we need technology to sell. Because look at us right now, we are on LinkedIn and we are reaching people globally because we have the live right now, and then after people will watch it on the replay when they at home or when they have their piece that they could watch it and carefully understand exactly what we are saying. So change and technology is something that we have to adapt to, and if it is that we cannot adapt to that, then we cannot move forward as a people, as someone who is willing to, be that person that you want to be. If it is you tell yourself that, here in 5 or 10 years, I want to be here or there, you need to adapt to change and technology. And I will tell anyone that. So never say that you are not savvy. You have to understand, okay, all right, LinkedIn platform, it have LinkedIn Lives. I basically right now put out type-based content. No, get on video, record a video, understand the live platform. It have different streaming softwares, which is Restream, StreamYard, and etc. Understand these streaming platforms, and you know exactly which one that you want to implement in your lives. So these are the things that will put yourself out there, and these are the things that people tend to get a feeling of you, because the best thing you could do is go on a video and people can get to understand you, because we on a live video, we can't basically stop and then play. Everything is rolling live. So you getting to understand how I basically care about myself, how I speak, same way with myself, so, and other people also. So video is something that closest to real life scenario, where you getting a feel of the person behind their profile picture.
I want to tag along on that, and I want to tell you that yes, it's true, we have to change and leverage technology, but some people are not comfortable on video. That's just a fact of life, right? Some people, they feel like, I don't like the way that I sound, I don't like the way that I look on screen. I'm going to put this, I think, on LinkedIn, if I can put this comment here. But I want to give you guys a free course to take. It's my personal branding course. I think I only have a private chat, so I think I'm going to put it right there. Can everybody see that? On Restream, can everybody see that link that I just put in the chat there?
I will basically forward it, if anything.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you want to leave a comment there on LinkedIn, that's great. Perfect. That link that Antonio just put in there is my free personal branding course. This is how I built Say What Sales, holding my phone in front of my face and talking to my target audience. Some people quite literally need a plan. They want to feel like they have a total plan in place before they start. This is a great way for you to put that plan in place. You can also do things like go out and find resources that will help you get to your goal. We help salespeople sell better. So we have joinjbsales.com/events, where we hold free events all the time. And these are events that everybody can come to and learn and interact, ask questions, be a part of the conversation. Let me get that link for you too, Antonio, so that we can give these people some resources that they can start leverage. All of these things are free. None of these things will cost you anything. So you want to take advantage of this type of stuff. And this is all part of investing in yourself. What's out there that you can take advantage of? So here we go. Events. And there's the link right there. So feel free to join those events. These are all great events that you can come to if you are that person that's working in business, looking to grow business, doing sales. This is all free stuff. So invest in yourself, build your brand, be out there, be a valued resource for your prospects, the people that you're connected with, and you're going to find the health of your pipeline goes up and to the right. And that alone is a very valuable thing for you and your career. Walk that path. It's a long path, but the views are really nice if you just stay walking forward.
Love it. Love it. It's so true. And, what do you see in terms of sales in the future, like 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I see having a strong digital presence and a strong personal brand as being a requirement to be a sales professional. I see people that are coming forward into the light for the first time ever and saying, I really enjoy helping others, and learning that that's what they like. Because we live in a society that is not okay with you cold pitching us, right? That's a thing of the past. We have to earn the right to talk about ourselves and our value by talking about them and their stuff, the stuff that matters to them. Because that's true, we have to create content today. The best sellers, top performers, they're like mini marketers. They know the value of content creation because it feeds the new conversations that they can have. And new conversations are the only thing that brings new business 100% of the time, all the time, without fail. The only exception to that is your customer success team, because they do upsells and cross sells and referrals. Occasionally you get a referral for an account executive, but on the whole, new business comes from new conversations with strangers that you don't know. So that has to be the focus in 2022 and beyond. How do I create or earn interest from someone who had no intention of even giving me any attention today, let alone interest in my product or my service? That's the game in 2022. Yes, it's still a volume game, but it is also a quality game now. And we have to find the things that work best for us. I always say pragmatism is the religion of sales. The things that work are the things that matter. But just because it works today doesn't mean it'll work tomorrow. Just because it works with this type of person doesn't mean it's going to work with that type of person. So we have to have as many skills in our tool belt, like Batman, to be as effective as possible with as many people as possible. And that is what makes a great seller in the modern selling environment and beyond. That's my opinion.
Awesome. And prospecting is something that we should do every day. I realize that I have a lot of sales professionals, they do not prospect on a daily basis. They have the perception that, yes, they have a great existing client base and they think that that is good enough. But if it is that you want your business to grow, let's say your business is local right now in the local market and you want to be international, you have to daily prospect in order to reach that destination. So you can't just study about nurturing the existing customers, which is great, but daily prospecting should be in our pipeline going forward. And cold calling, whether it be virtual selling, whether it be, going on conferences and network with individuals, all this is a part of prospecting. It's just that it's smart prospecting than just picking up the phone and calling individuals. So we have to be, as they say, don't try to work hard, but work smart in order to reap the rewards that you would like to reap. Because we know people who work very hard and at the end, they are not successful. So let's take that and implement that in our daily sales aspect.
So the people that work hard, I want to focus on the people that work hard but aren't successful, because I think those are the people that are most resistant to change. If you are coming in every day and you're dialing 300 phone numbers and not scheduling any meetings, but you're not sending emails or leveraging social media, you're missing the boat because you're not changing your routine. Right? Change, again, we're back to that like circular conversation of, if we're unwilling to change, we will always be eluded by the best result, the result we're after. So we have to take it upon ourselves. We have to be very thick-skinned, not just from external forces, but for ourselves as well. It's very easy to blame external forces. Many, many salespeople in the world that send garbage messaging will say things like, oh, this person is ignoring me. They're not ignoring you. You haven't done a good enough job with your messaging to earn the conversation, to earn the outcome that you want. But it's easier for us to say it's that person. It's harder for us to say, what can I change about the way I'm reaching out to somebody that will prompt them to get back to me? We have to be able to turn that magnifying glass inward and make that change for our growth, for our development. It's going to come at us. The bigger we get, the more popular we get, the more successful we get, the more change we're going to have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well get used to it early in your career. Change happens for a reason. That's where growth happens. That's where we get uncomfortable. That's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn to embrace that discomfort, because that's where lessons come. That's where advancement happens. That's where we grow into the person we wanted to be instead of the person we were yesterday.
Definitely. And I would say also too that a lot of sales professionals, when they go on prospect and they get rejected from potential customers, they feel that the next person that they're going to prospect to, they should not go with that enthusiasm. And Winston Churchill said it best: success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And I will tell every sales professional out there, when it is you fail, go at it like if you never failed before. Keep on smiling brighter each and every rejection that you get. Because in order to succeed, you have to fail. And failing is good because you get to understand where you went wrong. And then you could come up with different strategies going forward. So think about it in this way: go fearless. If you could fail every day, so be it. But at the end, you will learn something. And when you learn those vital things, you know could be better, more fearless. And being fearless in sales, confident in what it is that you are selling, whether it be a product or a service, that now will make people buy into you because you build that trust, that credibility with your clients, with potential customers out there. So be fearless.
Some of the best advice I ever got about fear, and I don't even remember where I got it. I think I got it from some random video that wasn't even like a topic, wasn't even fear, but I wrote it down when I heard it, and I say it all the time. We really have one choice with fear and anxiety. We can choose to act with the fear and anxiety, or we can choose to wait until the fear and anxiety goes away. Sometimes it never does, and the action that we want never gets taken. So my advice to people is always to choose the former. Just act alongside the fear and anxiety, and you'll find the more action you take, the less fear and anxiety you have, until eventually it goes away. Then here's the key. This is the part that everybody struggles with. You have to go find more fear and anxiety, because that's where good stuff starts to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it. Yes.
Yeah. But the people that are going through the motions every day and wondering why they're not being successful, it's because you're going through the motions. It's because there's no passion behind what you're doing. And I just, like, a quick note for everybody that's in sales right here: if you are not showing your passion for your product or service, no one is passionate about buying it from you. If you are not having a good time selling, no one is having fun buying. The people that gravitate towards us are the people that are most likely to buy from us. So we need to be able to pick up on these cues. That's a skill that we need to develop. Enrique, what's happening, bro? That's my guy right there. We just hung out. We just hung out in Tampa a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, awesome. Enrique. Hey, Enrique. Enrique's a very cool guy. Very cool. I was on the show some time back, and it was awesome.
Okay. I haven't been on his show. Enrique, what's up with that, bro? You got to get me out there. What's going on?
Have to.
Yeah. So growth and development, investing in yourself, is a lifelong journey, right? People always say, oh, I'm going to invest in myself and I'm going to go do this. And they do it and they don't see any results. So they go, well, I guess that was a waste of time. If you're going to decide to do something, plan it out. Look at it from overhead. My friend, one of my very good friends, Morgan J. Ingram, he's a colleague of mine. I'm very fortunate to work with him. Everybody knows Morgan. Yeah, or if you don't know Morgan, Jesus, like, what are you, living under a rock? Like, go find Morgan, right? Morgan J. Ingram has me now getting up in the morning and spending 10 minutes just sitting in silence. I just sit in silence and I center myself. What is the goal today? What is my plan today? How am I going to execute and hit what I need to hit to be satisfied with my performance for the day? Notice that I'm holding myself to my own standard. It's not an external force saying I have to hit these KPIs and send this many emails and make this many phone calls. I'm saying to myself, what will make James happy today?
Yeah.
What's that goal look like? Because that's going to be my focus all day. Even if I have 1,000 meetings to go to, I'm still going to be focused on the goal, whatever the goal is. I've been recommending this book a lot. And for those of you that are like, oh, what's my goal? You're thinking about that now because I'm talking about it, right? So what's my goal? Here, let me show you the way that I found my goal. I read a book. It was recommended to me from Richard Banfield and Chris Merrill. Chris Merrill is my CRO. Richard Banfield and I work together for clarity and focus and many other things. Richard Banfield is a great resource. For those of you that don't know Richard, he's a great author. Read his books. Amazing. When we talked, he talked about Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. In that book, there is an exercise called the hedgehog experiment or the hedgehog experience. And what you do is you build this Venn diagram and it's 3 circles and in the middle they overlap. And in one circle, it's what are you the best at? And in the other circle, it's what do you like doing the most? And then in the last circle, it's what are the resources, the economic resources that you have at your disposal to be able to do those things? Every action that you take, no matter what it is, it needs to feed those things, the things that you're best at, the things you like doing the most, and the economic resources that you use. All of them need to feed that thing. And if they don't, you should be questioning whether or not you should spend time on them, because those things that you're going to be doing, they have to lead to the goal. And if you can't tie them back to the goal, you should do them a different time, not during your I'm going to go reach my goal hours. You should be doing them on another time period. And that brings me to the tasking that you were talking about earlier. I will give you guys a piece of advice that changed my life. Task management plus time blocking equals success. Anxiety-free workplace. Task management plus time blocking. So for example, for all things project, I use a product called Asana. And if I have a project in Asana, there's a time block on my calendar that matches the project. This way, I've allocated the time to get it done. If I have a cold calling power hour, it is on my calendar because I've allocated the time to get it done. If I have something that is, I need to go follow up with everyone I spoke with over the last week, that all lives in Salesforce.
Yeah.
I'm using that to manage my pipeline tasks. Yes, feed the goal or it ain't your goal. Exactly. Enrique hit the nail on the head right there.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's a money-making skill set to develop your time management. And people don't understand the value in that. They just come in with gaps on their calendar and they go, oh, okay, I have this gap. What am I going to do for that gap? Fill it in. Look at your tasks. What should you be doing with that gap? Make it productive. John told me, or we spoke this morning, and one of the things he said to me, because I've learned that busy is my enemy. Busy is not the same thing as productive.
So true. Definitely.
Just because somebody gets time on your calendar doesn't mean they're helping you get to your goal. Sometimes your goal is to help them get to their goal because that's your goal, but that's a different situation. That's often my situation because I'm in coaching and training, right?
Yeah. And it falls back to like my vision. My vision is to help you find within yourself opportunities that you can obtain and create. And you can only show someone what to do, but it's up to them, themselves, in order to put in the work to reach to the goal or goals that they would like to reach. And it falls back also to when I mentioned working hard or working smart. It's better to work smart because some people work hard and at the end of the day, they do not reach the quota, they do not reach the targets. So we have to, I would say, at the end of the day, lay back and reflect on your day itself. How did it went? What was the positives? What was the negatives? Tomorrow, the other day, what can I do better than yesterday? How can I improve myself? And each day, at the end of the day, reflect on the day and see where you went wrong, what positives to be able to move forward. And
Yeah.
when you do this baby steps incrementally, you will see a change coming from inside of you and outputting out towards individuals. And they will see the star in you, the progress that you should have going forward.
I couldn't agree with you more, but I also think that there is an element of time management involved in that as well, because
Yeah.
we take on a lot of responsibility to do things that we put pressure on ourselves. Guys, everyone out there, if you're listening to this, stop putting this pressure on yourself. And every deadline that you put in front of you, every deadline that you have, ask yourself, who gave me this deadline? Most of the time, you're going to find that you gave yourself this deadline. Stop this madness. Be okay with having flexibility in your schedule. Be okay with the fact that you need a buffer time in between meetings. Embrace these things because they're going to aid in your mental health status. They're going to aid in your anxiety. They're going to aid in your stress levels, and you're going to find that you perform better as a result. But if you don't take the time that you need to be able to manage it all and get it all done in a timely fashion, and you're putting unrealistic deadlines in front of yourself, you're just creating unneeded stress for yourself. I see a lot of salespeople that do this. You come and you look at their calendar and you're like, wow, man, there's a lot of overlap here. How are you going to be in two places at once? And they're like, oh yeah, it happens every week. I don't worry about it. What? Like, you need to worry about that. Like, you can't be in both of those meetings. Like, that's crazy. So we find that this is a very common problem, time management, and then the time blocking. If you get that skill set down, that's a great thing to focus on early in your career. But there's a lot of old dogs in the room, I'm sure of that. So let's talk about some modern stuff. I feel like that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Awesome. So when it's some modern stuff, like, fill me in.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been doing that works really well these days is I have an omnipresence approach that I think people have a hard time ignoring. I've been saying lately, very fond of saying, be hard to ignore, but in a good way, right? Not in a bad way. So I do this thing where I'll reach out with a phone call first and I'll leave a message, and then I'll immediately send an email referencing the message, and then I'll immediately send the LinkedIn connection request all in one shot. Then the next day I go find them on Instagram and I follow them there. The next day, I go follow them on Twitter. The next day, I send another email and I make another phone call. But by the time we talk, it's been so consistent, and they see my comments every time they log in. They see my likes. I go through their stuff and I read things and leave thoughtful comments. By the time we connect, they're like, I feel like I already know you. I hear this all the time. It's really difficult to ignore me in a good way. Yeah. So this is a modern sales approach that I find to be effective because we are hitting people where they get their dopamine hits. We're hitting people where the chemical reaction in their brain makes them feel good. Someone followed me. Someone reached out to me. Somebody wants to connect with me, and it's not in their inbox where they associate with work. So it's negative. It feels invasive. It feels distracting, right? But when you hit them on Instagram, they're like, oh, this is awesome. How are you? That's how you and I ended up on this call, buddy.
Definitely. Yeah, it's so true. And I like that approach because we see a lot of people on LinkedIn. They send you a connection request, you accept, and immediately they try to sell to you. And that is basically so salesy. You do not want that approach at all. And I wonder to myself how it is that they are doing this. If it is that they are actually getting any clients, because this approach, no one will want to buy into something like that. And they
so
keep
we think that.
going.
We think that. But it has to work, right? Because it happens so much. It
so
has
much.
to work.
So true. So true. Yeah, that is a good way of thinking about it, because if it isn't happening so much, they're watching that, all right, I reach out to 100 connections. If it is the probability of they closing 2 or 3 within that short period of time, they don't mind. So maybe that is the approach. They will be going at it at a probability, number.
I think it depends on. I think it depends on the goal. If the goal is to schedule a meeting and show somebody something, I don't think those messages do a good job doing that. But if the goal is to get them to read an article or click a link or get somebody's feedback, they might actually get that with those automated messages. There's a place for automation. I just don't think it's in our new relationships. I think we use automation a little bit differently in today's marketing and sales collaboration. And I do see that. I see marketing and sales getting closer and closer together lately, which is a very refreshing thing, but it's caused a lot of like turmoil as far as what works for who and why and what industries perform well and what doesn't. I think there's a lot to be uncovered still with this marketing and sales alignment that everybody's been after for, I don't know, 150 years. I don't think that's ever going to get solved 100%. But if it does, we'll see what comes of it. It's really been amazing to hear the sales stories of marketers investing in personal brands and the sales stories of marketing and sales working together for collaborative messaging that's impactful for an ICP. I've heard a lot of really good things about marketing and sales alignment lately. And of course, the same old bad things are always present. It's probably not going to go away overnight.
But what do you think about the sales professional who do not want to implement marketing in his strategy or her strategy going forward?
Sure. Those people have a very specific type of buyer. We all do. If you think about it, you've probably met people before in your life that when you meet them, you're super excited. You're like, oh man, I really like that person. And you don't know why. There's just something about them that rubs you the right way. Conversely, we've all met people before that were like, if I ever see that asshole again, it's going to be way too soon. Right? Like we all have this. The same thing is happening with people that don't want to implement marketing or build a brand. They have a very specific type of buyer. It's an IT buyer. It's a drier personality. It's somebody that doesn't care about small talk. It's somebody that just wants to hear the pitch, doesn't care about what you're, hey, how's this weather over there today? Like they don't want that, right? They have a very specific buyer. The big personalities that want to build a brand and build a following and a network, those people sell well to those individuals too, right? We have to like figure out how many different personalities we sell best to and then find and hire people that are able to sell to those personalities. For every person that is big like me and boisterous and out there with their personality, there's another person that's just as successful as me, sitting behind their phone, making quiet dials and getting meetings with people that match up with their personality. We have to stop thinking that there is a right way. There is only pragmatism, the things that work. There's no right way. There are no silver bullets in sales ever. And there never have been. There've only been people that have submitted, they have a way that works. That's it.
And that is so true. And we don't think about it in that holistic manner because you could be an introvert and you could be a great sales professional. You could be an ambivert and be great also. You could be an extrovert and do not be great at what it is that you do. So it really don't have a right way. And as sales professionals, we really have to understand that. And that's why it is I bring in, sales and marketing and shorten it to marketing, because going forward, in order to put yourself out there and build your personal brand, you have to have that graphic artist design going forward, because people are visual. They tend to see things that eye-catching and they buy into that. So by having that, graphic design artwork going forward and by, putting out great video content where you design it a bit, not too much, not too fancy, but you're getting to the point in terms of your content, but you have to be creative. That's why it is that LinkedIn, they have this content creator mode.
The creator mode, yeah.
So that you could, showcase your skills. They want that going forward because the radio ads, the TV ads, the billboard ads, you're seeing that becoming obsolete, right? It may not be obsolete right now, but it is fading away. And content creators who could provide great content, who could grab the attention of the audience, who could have great hook for their subject line, they are the ones who will dominate the market. They are the ones who will captivate the audience to come in to buy the product or to buy the services. So
those are the people that go from being sales representatives to being sales professionals. Larry Levine, in his book, Selling from the Heart, talks about the difference between a sales rep and a sales professional. And that's how he defines it. There are people that are always going to be sales reps. They come in, they hit the phones, they cold call, Yes, we are the first type. We are outgoing individuals. But
Definitely.
I'm glad you bring that up, Enrique, because I say all the time that our personalities are like, and I don't know who said this. I want to say it was Seth Godin, but it might have been somebody else. But they said our personalities are like magnets. There's two poles on them. One of them pulls people towards us, and the other one pushes people away. We sell best to the people that are pulled towards us. We don't sell well to the people that are pushed away. But you know what? Someone else on our team might. So we need to have that mentality of like, is this a personality type that I sell best to? And if not, do I have someone on my team that would be a better fit? Because I can make that introduction to be a much smoother conversation because their personality types will match. We always talk about like going in and looking at the type of people that you're about to talk to. So I always give this advice. If you're going to go on LinkedIn and you're going to look at somebody before you have a Zoom call with them or before you call them on the phone, look at three things. One, look at their profile picture. Do they look like this? That person is not excited to hear from you.
So true.
I don't care what you're saying, right? Or do they look like me? Right? I'll talk to anybody. Let's do it. But if you look at that profile picture, you know what kind of approach you need based on that personality. At the same time, look at their about page. What's their love language? Are they talking in math and dollars and metrics and KPIs? You should probably talk about that stuff because that's how they think. But if they're saying like wonderful, amazing, fantastic, motivational, that's how they care. That's how they think. They want you to motivate them. They want to make the decision based on how you make them feel. So then you stop at their job description. If it was copied and pasted from the website or their LinkedIn page, it's probably not very useful. But if they wrote it, you should probably talk about that stuff because that's the stuff they care about. This is like 5 minutes on LinkedIn, and you know what kind of like get an idea of what your approach could be for this personality type.
So true, because based on someone, how it is that they put out their content, in terms of the headline, the cover story video, you get that feel about them and you know how to engage with them. And I hate when someone engage with you, right? And they asking you what it is that you do. When everything is on your profile, I sure you got that already, James. Yeah. I sure.
I get it all the time. So there's a couple of them that I throw out there that I really hate. And I'll give them to you now so you guys can hear them. What do you do is the worst one because it's like, dude, read my profile, right? Like it's right there. Yeah. It's right there. Where are you from? Where are you from is another one. It's right there. It's there. And then this one's probably the worst one. And I think Instagram is the worst for this. What's your name?
Oh,
if you're saying what is your name on any social media platform and you have reached out to them in a DM on their profile, you don't belong in the internet. You lost. What's your name is terrible. Don't do this.
That
and then there's the like borderline inappropriate one. Sometimes I'll answer and I'll be like, I'm from Miami. What about you? And they'll be like, are you married? And then I'm out. I'm done. Yeah, I'm not answering that. I'm going.
Yeah, because that is personal stuff. You don't ask it. If it is you come on the best B2B platform, you come to build a genuine professional relationship. So asking someone about their personal affairs, that is inappropriate. And
so the personal thing is actually funny. Like I'm in the gym. You had mentioned that I've been working out a lot, and you've seen it, right? I've been working out every day. Monday through Friday, I work out in the mornings. Saturday and Sunday, I use for rest. I don't work out on Saturday and Sundays. So I get these people that reach out to me and they're personal trainers, and the way that they talk to you is horrific. So I get these people that reach out and they say things like, what's stopping you from hitting your fitness goals? Dude, I don't know you. Number one. Number two, you don't know me. Like, what do you mean? Like, first of all, you assume that not only do I have fitness goals, but I'm missing them. Right. And then they say things like, it's okay to be unhappy. They say these things, right? Dude, I'm not unhappy because I don't have a six pack like you. That's not a good way to reach out to me. I got a guy on LinkedIn just the other day that referred to me in the first message he's ever sent me. He referred to me as obese. And I'll tell you, like, it'd be really easy for me to get upset, right? I don't know, invite negativity into my world. I'm like nope. If you're talking negative shit, I'm out. But when this hit me, I was like, I can't believe this. And what it is like this concept of like, man, people they've lost the ability to understand where the boundary is.
Yes, definitely.
They get way
Yes.
too familiar real fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about simple stuff like referring to someone as bro or dude. Like, that's
Yeah,
okay. In my
that's
opinion,
okay.
that's okay.
Yeah.
But when you start talking about obesity and diabetes in a negative way and like criticizing people for it, almost judging them,
Mm-hmm.
man, you got to take a step back and ask yourself, like, what makes you think that that is okay? It is not okay.
Not okay. Never. And he don't even know you. So it's like this, right? Some people even come in my inbox and they'll be like, I think that you need some coaching. You don't even know if it is that I am even willing to pay for your services. You don't even know that if I'm doing the same thing as you, you're not even trying to understand me. See the content that I'm providing, see the live videos that I'm doing, nothing. And
Yeah.
you just feel that you could come and help me just so. When that is like, come on, move aside. Either you just unconnect with them or you just never even respond to the message because it is wasting your time, and you could go on to someone who is positive, someone who you can have a genuine professional relationship with.
Yeah, I will often respond to those though and say, I don't think we're a fit for you, and you should probably do some more research before you reach out to people like me in the future. Have a great day.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes that short message is really
Yeah.
helpful. Sometimes I have feedback for emails too, and I'll give that feedback just because, like, if we just keep ignoring it, it just keeps happening and it
Happening.
just keeps
Yeah.
getting worse. So I feel like there's an opportunity for people like you, people like me, to be able to be like, hey, this is not connecting, and let me tell you why, and then leave it there. If they want
Mm-hmm.
to continue the conversation, we can have a real conversation. One of my number one go-to things is every time I get an inbound message and I feel like it's automated, I just ask, hey, is this automated? And you'll be
Mm-hmm.
surprised how many people will say, yeah, it's automated. I don't get a choice in what I send. Or, yeah, I use this tool. And I'm like, man, this isn't connecting with me. And it's because you're just spraying out the same message over and over to thousands of people. You got to care about what you do in today's selling environment because people
Mm-hmm.
care about what they buy. Our buyers, all of the buyers of the world, people that float and live above the power line, that have access to budget, they are extremely cautious with where they put their time today because there's so much things happening all at once. It's hard for them to know where the best time spent is. So if you're going to ask someone for their time, I hope that you've done enough research, that you've spent enough time making sure that they know that you crafted all this for them, because that's the way that they're going to feel like it's worth their time. I remember, I can't remember who it was. Again, it escapes me. I want to say it was Mark Benioff of Salesforce, but I could be wrong. But he said, if you want 10 minutes of my time as a seller, show me that you gave me 5 first.
Mm.
Spend the time, look at something, have a reason that you're reaching out to me. That's not, I want to sell you my stuff.
Yeah.
And you brought up the car thing. I love that you brought up the car thing because I always talk about car salespeople being that stigma that we're all trying to like eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think everybody in here that's bought a car has been in a situation where you're like out test driving cars. You are shopping for a car. You have money. You're going to buy a car. But you see that salesperson and you lock eyes, and the first thing out of your mind is, I got to get out of here before this person talks to me. That is the person that we are all trying to not be in 2022. And if you are that person and you don't know you're that person, please talk to me. I want to talk to you so that
Mm-hmm.
I can convince you to stop being this person.
And as you talk about cars and stuff, it's like this, right? If it is that I have a Toyota vehicle and I'm looking to buy a new model Toyota, and I go to the showroom and the sales representative, they come in with a Nissan vehicle, and that is the sales rep who have to speak with me. Would I purchase from them, seeing that they come in with a Nissan vehicle? Because to me, as a salesperson, you have to always consume your product. So, for example, how it is that I went to a Toyota showroom I would expect maybe the sales rep to have a Toyota vehicle. In that way, they will know the inside out of the Toyota vehicles, and they will be able to give the best advice, product knowledge, and answer majority of my questions, because not all the time they will be able to answer 100% of the questions. That is fine. At least they can maybe get back to me with the questions that asked. So, what is your take on that? Seeing that, going in to buy a Toyota vehicle, but the sales rep who have to come and deal with you, they drive into a Nissan vehicle, and they are saying that they know everything about Toyota, and they're telling you the product knowledge about the vehicle. They're telling you which model to buy, which model not to buy, and these sorts of things.
John will often say, and Morgan, I think, will agree, most of our trainers, Shelly, Leslie, we all have this terrible habit. We did have this terrible habit of telling people things. Lately, I think we show people things much better. Mm-hmm. And we get better results from showing. I think we live in a show me world, not a tell me world. So for that person that's in the car, right, I would want them to give me all that information, of course. But then I would question, like, why does that matter to me? That salesperson would be better off to ask more questions instead of telling me things. Mm-hmm. Because then I'm going to answer the questions and tell them what matters to me, right? So I'll give you a good example. There's a difference in a salesperson that says, oh, you like that car? Let me get the keys and we'll hop in. And then they get in the car and they tell you all about the car. And the salesperson that says, hey, I see you're looking at that car. Why are you looking at that model? Oh, well, I need a van because I have 3 kids. Oh, 3 kids. How old are they? Well, one of them's 13, but the other ones are smaller. All right, cool. Well, that van has 3 rows of seats. Do you guys do a lot of road trips? Mm-hmm. This conversation is far more fruitful for the buyer than when they hop in the car and this person talks at them about the car in the passenger seat and gives them all the facts and figures. All that stuff is in the manual, man. I don't need that. You know what I need from my sellers? Why does this matter to me? Why should I go with this instead of something else? If you can answer that question, you'll get more sales out of that conversation. And if you ask the right questions that lead people to tell you the pieces of information that you can fit together in the puzzle, people tend to be more apt to do business with you, hand you money, answer more questions, agree that this is a good deal, and then eventually sign a document. That is the way that it works. Whether you're buying a car and it's happening in an hour, or buying software and it happens in 90 days, it's the same process.
So true. So basically, selling is questioning, asking the right questions to get the right feedback so that you could provide the right solutions.
That's right. And I'll tell you what we call it. We call it selling to the 20%. Let me give you the link to the article because we wrote an article about it.
Okay.
Sell to the 20%. So this is kind of a take on, exactly. Tie the item to the person and it'll be theirs. I love that.
So true. Yeah, I love that.
So true. Right. And the same thing happens in this. That's tie the item. It's probably a retail look when you look at that. If you look at software, you're looking at a piece of software that has 10 features. But when you hop on the discovery call with your prospect, they really only care about 2. Mm-hmm. So we have to sell to that 20% across the board. I could tell you 10,000 facts about that van, but you want to hear about the seating, the air conditioning, and the televisions that are in there. So let me talk about those things because that's what you want to buy. And I think if we start focusing on those types of conversations, not only will we see more results from a sales perspective, but more people will want to keep talking to us because we're asking them questions that are relevant to their decision in purchasing something. Not saying you should buy this, you should buy this, you should buy this, which is what most people do. They try to rush to that point, and you got to earn that credibility. You got to earn the right for them to care about what they're buying. So they have to tell you the information. Again, it's the van versus the car, right? I'm going to jump in. I'm going to tell you 1,000 things, but you really only care about these 3.
Yeah, love it. I would say that you made some great points, and investing in yourself, going back to the topic, we need to invest in ourselves so that we would not these things would not happen to us, these errors. It wouldn't happen in our lives because, yes, we have to fail, but the mistakes, we don't want that to happen because you want to always try to not have mistakes. So when you fail, it's not about selling mistakes. It's about maybe something with the prospect, or maybe something that, with the sales process itself. So in order to go forward, we have to invest in ourselves the right way. And that is today. We shouldn't procrastinate. We should invest in ourselves today.
I agree with you. And I think that we need people to walk with us as we invest in ourselves. So reach out to me. Come walk with me. I will walk alongside you while you invest in yourself. I promise.
Awesome. And in closing, James, what would you like to tell the audience today?
Yeah, I would like to tell you that you're responsible for making yourself a successful professional. That is no one else's job. That responsibility lies in your hands and your hands alone. But you are worth it. All the effort that you're afraid to take, all the steps that you think are too big for you, they will take time. So go out and start today. Take that first step. Pick something that you think you need to improve on and just go get it. Shout out, Enrique. I love you. If you feel like you want more information, come join our events. They are 100% available to you. Join jbsales.com/events. And if you would like to talk about becoming a member, reach out to me. Join jbsales.com to get a good overview. And I'm so pleased to be able to be here to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate you, Antonio, for having me on the show.
You are most welcome, James, and it was awesome. And for the audience there who right now are looking at the live, on the replay, you're watching the live, you have any questions, you could reach out to James Buckley on LinkedIn, on Instagram, you could reach out to myself. And as James said, join gbsales.com, correct?
That's right, jbsales.com.
Yes.
Join
Yeah.
jbsales.com. We look for you there.
Awesome. Have a great one.